nalipa tax na hata siwezi afford kupanda taxi. Kwa banki sina kakitu, siwezi afford hata shati. Maji nanywa ya kanjo yako ya chupa za mapambo. Nalipia mtoto wako elimu ya bure ya juu. Unanipa ya bure lakini ya udu. Oh no. Nitapata wapi majibu ya maswali? Mahindi lienda wapi? Pia shilingi ya shule za msingi. Paulo mtume, mbona tena usimtume? Lazima abuniwe tume. Lazima abuniwe tume. Mapenzi ndizo hali mapasati tulificha kwa kabati. Kazi kwa vijana, pesa kwa wazee. Tulimangamanga mpaka za madede aise. Lazima abuniwe tume. Lazima abuniwe tume. Sheria. 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 Fuata. Sheria. Sheria. Fuata. Sheria. 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 Fuata. Sheria. 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 Fuata. Sheria. Pia wewe mwananchi, tabia zako ziko chini. Unapenda kulipa hongo na kutumia njia za uongo. Una mipango hata watoto wa kando. Haujui hata majina yao. Kura yako uliuza maini figo, ukakulia hadi dini. Kisha wasema tukuthamini, na wewe hapo hauaminiki. Na wewe hapo haupati
Sarabi. My goodness, Sarabi. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Sheria Dive. You're here, I'm here, and we're about to have a good time. Welcome to Sheria Dive, where we talk about the law and matters affecting the nation, and we look at it through that legal angle. So if you're just joining us, we're going to be having a feature artist coming in shortly. We like to highlight feature artists from the Republic of Kenya because remember, on this show and on this radio station, it's all Kenyan all the time. So we're going to be highlighting one Mr. Manolo. But of course, we're also talking about watching the watchers. What are we talking about? You know, who's watching the watchers? Talking about the NIS and, even the question of abductions, really, and the place of intelligence in the Constitution. What actually does the Constitution of Kenya provide? Luckily for you and I, we just have the perfect case that illustrates that for us. But we're going to be getting to that a bit later. For now, this is my blessing of the day for you as you start the show. I really love this song. This song is by one Mr. Eric Wainaina. And Eric Wainaina is a fantastic musician. And, he's that guy for those freedom songs. Have you seen Eric Wainaina perform live? You need to do it, I think, before you die, man. My goodness. Eric Wainaina is a fantastic performer. And, those of you who showed up at Mandamano concert, we were there at Mandamano concert. And that was my last Eric Wainaina performance, and it was amazing. So this is Mama Luca by Eric Wainaina. When I come back, I'm going to tell you what it means if you don't understand the language. But remember, music is a universal language. So let's do this. Let's go.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Mama Luca, yule iweta inene, we umwe wale, makire kurale. Muke hana, mahoa mehakaine, muke rutolola, uko marimaine. Nasianyu, ukisigaera kehara, ya gutenera, uda kamufira. Newadekirwa, wera wadirikari, forori mwede, waihore temyeke. Watunyirwa wera na pesa ciaritaya na nyumba yako irahurirwo munara. Nyohoro wakia muno ono gisuroria sasiakuro dingoine. Watahona keroli
Eric Wenina. That is Mama Luca by Eric Wenina. Fantastic song. You know the way in African communities, and I think generally, actually, all over the world, but let me talk about Africa because that's our experience. You know, parents are the ones who support or rather bless their children, right? And, you know, that's important for parents to bless their children. But in Mama Luca, it's actually the child blessing the mother and telling her, you know, may your cows never stop producing milk. And for those of you who get that reference, where mlisema mtaki kurudi ushago, you know, have you met people you try to say, hey, manze, you know, I just want that quiet village lifestyle. Mtu anakuangalia anasema, do you know what you're talking about? I hear this experience happens a lot with those of us or those of you who grew up plucking tea. You know, guys go to Tigoni, they're all like, oh my God, I don't want to live here all the time. It's beautiful. Those who grew up in those areas, watakwambia the stories of how they would be woken up very, very early in the morning in the biting cold to go and pick that tea because that is where the school fees is coming from and everything. They just see that Tigori thing, they're like very big nonsense, okay? But it's not everyone. But back to Mama Luca, it's a child saying, hey, may your cows never stop producing milk. And telling them, hey, your reputation precedes you, man. You've done well. The community is proud of you. So are you proud of your parents today? Anybody out there? Flozy, are you proud of your parents? Yeah, Flozy is very proud of her parents. I hope you're proud of your parents. So let's start the show on a positive note. Please send that text to your father or mother. Waambie, hey, mzazi. Even your tuko. Okay? Appreciate them. Reach out to your parent, by the way. That's one of the things we need to do. What happens if you don't have parents? You could pray, then they'll hear since they're with God, you know. All parents are with God, I guess, right? I feel like that's controversial sometimes. Are all parents with God, the ones who've died? Thankfully, you don't have to think about that because you're leaving. So there you go. Now, today's artist feature is one Mr. Manolo. Manolo got married the other day, man, and he released a song on his wedding day. Such a cool guy. If you're wondering, where do I know Manolo from? Do you remember that song, All I Need Is 5 Stones So I Can Slay the Giant? Let me ask Flozy if she can find that song for us. This is where you've probably run into one Mr. Manolo. And used to serve in this group that did gospel. And you remember the guys who used to go at Bomb Blast. I don't know whether that still happens. Guys will go at Bomb Blast for spoken word, for concerts. That was one of the spaces that this group blew up in. But that's where you know Manolo from. Flozy, do we have it? We got it? Bado. Yes, but he'll be our artist feature. So I was talking about his wedding. And he released a song on his wedding. He just had a wedding the other day. And Manolo is amazing. Bro, thank you so much for the work you're doing. When you let him say, yeah, and he's married now. That's so cool. Nelly, also another member of the group, is married. I don't know about member number 3. You guys could... if you have that information, you can just put it there in the comments. We'll see it, and then we'll fill in that bit of information. My God. Here we are. So our artist feature is Mr. Manolo, and I guess this is the first song of the artist feature. Let's go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Power Radio.
Can I say that I love you without him? He who finds a wife finds a good thing, and I'm blessed that he pointed me your way. Venue iko ready, altar iko set. Girl, I'm ready, get with my crew. Pastor amefika na tukichelewa itabidi ametupiga kafine. And in my dreams we drive around in a Panamera. I'm so glad in reality you're my Cinderella. Una vile moyo unadunda. wamefika. Cheki cheki anko na maanti wamefika. Cheki my brother na my sister. Cheki marafiki na makuzwa na chachisha. Leo nakuja sleepover, night last forever. Wewe ni ishara vile Mungu ananipenda. And in my dreams we drive around in my Panamera. I'm so glad in reality you're my Cinderella. Moyo wangu unadunda, dun dun dun. Ona vile moyo unadunda, dunda, dunda. Mtima wangu unadunda, dunda, dunda. Cheki vile moyo unadunda, dunda, unadunda. Cheki wazazi wamefika. Cheki cheki anko na maanti wamefika. Cheki my brother na my sister. Cheki marafiki na makuzwa na chachisha. Leo nakuja sleepover, night last forever. Wewe ni ishara vile Mungu ananipenda. Dunda, 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 dun dun dun, dunda, 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 dun dun dun.
Dun Dun Dun. That is a song Manolo released on his wedding day. Fantastic song. Ladies, just imagine a guy singing a song, a brand new song for you as you walk down the aisle. Man, I hope you get to experience that in this lifetime. Yeah, but it's special. Fantastic. Now, that is Dunda by Mr. Manolo. That's number 1 out of 5 as we do our artist feature. Manolo was part of Recap, the group. And Recap was a fantastic group. But then they all went into, their individual careers. I don't know if they'll ever get back together, but anyway, that's that. This is song number 2 from one Mr. Manolo, who you can actually follow on social media and just catch up with his music and what he is doing. Let's go.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
How can I stay silent when I know that I am a product of your grace? How can I stay silent when I know that you, my God, have covered my shame? Jua likasimama, bahari ukatawanya, kazi ya mikono yako Baba. Adui kaniandama, kataka kunimaliza, hakutarajia neema yako. Na sasa meza umeandaa mbele ya watesi wangu, tazama. Na kitio na jina langu, wewe Baba umeniita karibu. Oh, na sasa meza umeandaa mbele ya watesi wangu, tazama. Baba, na kitio na jina langu, wewe Baba umeniita karibu. Ayo, ayo. Ule mpango Mungu anapanga siku zote ni mpango mwema, si wa mabaya, wa kunifanikisha na kuniongeza katika mambo yote. Japo adui alijaribu kunizuia, akasahau hatua zangu zaongozwa na Mungu, amezifanikisha ili aone. Meza umeandaa mbele ya watesi wangu, na kiti yo.
Kiti la jina langu, wewe Baba umeniita karibu.
Yes. That's like the sort of song that makes you stand up and clap your hands, you know? Meza umeanda. Manze, how was your 2024, guys? As we start this new year, hii mwaka mimi nataka kuandaliwa meza bana hata mimi. You know, uandaliwe meza. In the presence of your enemies. That's Manolo. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Meza. Fantastic. Let's go to song number 3 by this man, Mr. Manolo, who I'm really, really loving so far. And of course, that song, Meza, is done together with one Mr. Paul Clement from Tanzania. Hey guys, do you remember what were the East Africa collabos of your time? Depending at the age when you started discovering music properly. You know, the other day I saw Chameleon singing Mbona Umeniacha. You know, that was a Kenyan collabo. Chameleon of Uganda. Which collabo marked your initiation, proper initiation into music? East Africa collabo. Of course, it's always fantastic to see collaborations across East Africa. Remember, we are a community, East Africa community. And it's beautiful and wonderful just to see what that coming together is able to do. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, now let's go to song number 3 by Mr. Manolo.
Mimi siwezi bila we, kama we niwe kama we, Yesu Mwokozi nani kama we. Where would I be if it wasn't for you? Where would I go if it weren't by your grace? Goliath is all up in my face, lakini na wesi ni teaching the race. Narusha, hili jiwe narusha, kwa jina lake narusha, lazima utanguka. Narusha, Nairobi mpaka Arusha, mipaka yote nitavuka, lazima utanguka.
All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. All I need is 5 stones, 5 stones. All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. Goliath, Goliath, Goliath.
This is to all of my brothers and sisters who be facing all of them challenges. Whether financial, physical, emotional, we just gon' let Jesus handle it. Cause he done fill us with joy. I'm a tupa he on fire. Maweta no kwamfuko jo. But we never go tired. Recap, I'm loving the tune. But I don't understand. How can this story relate to me when I am nothing to be? You're wrong, cause hakuna kamawe. He gon' make you strong kamawe. You see the hulola atawe. My papa you konawe, that's why.
All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. All I need is 5 stones, 5 stones. All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant.
Let's go. No money, no power. I ain't chasing no money, no power. Hate all you want. Na ukibonga pia ni sawa. I spread my wings and fly. You amenipa mabawa. I'm running for my God, cause he's a God of power. Amenipa amani. God has given peace. I'ma tell y'all, yeah, ni nani. Who my God is. Alinipa grace for a new day. Me at the praise him daily. Me at the lift my hands in the air. They gon' talk, I don't really care. Nimeenda show bila hata fare ya kurudi 5 stones mfukoni na ile fare ya Daudi. See he been rocking your boy. I'ma praise him to my end. Me know the tire cause he's my eternal friend.
All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. All I need is 5 stones, 5 stones. All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. Goliath.
Yogo PG to yo, out of a warrior.
And this is how I go to war.
I know my God is victorious.
Even before I go pick up my tools, I have already defeated you. Ebenezer has always brought me through. Though I have never fought as big as you. The bigger you are, the harder to miss. The fight isn't mine, the battle is his. Some trust in chariots, some in the balas. Those who don't trust in the Lord need my falas. With my God, you, all I need is 5 5 stones to feed everybody. Oh, all I need is 5 loaves.
Narusha, Nairobi, mpaka Arusha. Mipaka yatavuka, lazima utaanguka.
All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. All I need is 5 stones, 5 stones. All I need is 5 stones, and I will slay the giant. Goliath, Goliath, Goliath.
5 stones. All I need is 5 stones. That's Manolo when he was together with other members of the group known as Recap. Okay, now Recap was a group, or I don't know whether it still is, man, but let's say was. Okay, they haven't released music together in a while. But Recap was a group of 4. Emmanuel Mongela, who is Manolo. Did you know that? Oh my God, I'm just discovering that now. Then Nelly Tuikong, Edward Obura, and Ted Ascoe. Okay, at the time this description was being written, these guys were like 19, 18. Okay, now they were all in the same high school where they met, and each member in the group has different abilities, which won together to form an awesome team. Emmanuel is a songwriter, rapper, singer, and guitarist. Nelly plays the guitar, sings, and also songwrites. Edward, on the other hand, is an outstanding rapper and songwriter. Ted is a spoken word artist, singer, beatboxer, and he also plays the clarinet. The word recap comes from the musical term recapitulation, which means to go back to the beginning. Okay? Recap's mission is to go back to the beginning, which is God, as written in John 1:1. It also means restoration from a state of monotony, exhaustion, to find renewal and going back to a first love, God. It is basically about finding our identity in Christianity as young people and being unashamed of our faith. That's the description that the Recap group has. Of course, that was Manolo as part of Recap. And now let's get another Manolo song. You're going to song number 4. Please let me know which is your favorite of this bunch, these songs you're hearing. And also, possibly, is it the first time you're hearing songs by Mr. Manolo? Please check him out and just find out what he's doing and the projects he's working on and see how you can support him, because Kenyan art is the best. Let's go.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
You're enough for me. King, you're enough for me. Father, you're enough for me. Wengi wanataka dough, na wengine wanataka fame. Easy hazikosi every single time we pray. Tukizipata tunataka more. Baba, tukikosa, you're the one to blame. Kuna kitu leo nimekam kuse. Umeniweza Bwana wangu. Oh, umeniweza. Bwana wangu. Baba, mbona ukapenda mtu kama mimi, ukaniita hata kabla mimi kuamini. Kuna mambo mengi I cannot explain. Na sasa uwepo wako pumzi yangu, neno lako taa ya miguu yangu. Umenitosha, oh lazima niimbe. Umeniweza Bwana wangu. Umeniweza Bwana wangu. Umeniweza. hadi ile siku utakam. Naomba picha yetu mimi nisiban, uniweze leo and every other day. Ukisema well done, kazi ulinipa nimemaliza, niweze leo and every other day.
Beautiful Manolo. Umeniweza by Manolo. Fantastic song, beautiful song. And of course, Manolo is still, I think he's still, would say he still does gospel music, you know. And even when he, you know, like when he was singing to his wife, he was still talking about God even as he was doing it, you get. So it's fantastic. Manolo is coming to us with Umeniweza, a beautiful ballad. And I think the bassist on that song was going through something because that bass line is sick. Hey, the guy was going through something. He's just playing it out. He's like, hey. Hey, beautiful bass line in that song. So, fantastic. Let's go to song number 5 by our featured artist of this afternoon, Mr. Manolo. As we now know him, Emmanuel. What? Come on, man. No.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
I believe in God the Father, I believe in Christ the Son, I believe that He died to save us, and I believe one day He'll come back to us. Times may change, what do wanna issue life bila regret? I keep wondering and wondering why. Is there anything left on the inside? Asking what are you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Unangoja nini, mpaka lini? I said, what are you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Unangoja nini, mpaka lini? Ready or not, anakuja. 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 Asking what are you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Unangoja nini, mpaka lini? Yeah. Beautiful exchange, you can come down from the sky. Bride ikirise kukumit. Trumpet iki sound on repeat. Trumpet iki sound on repeat and repeat and repeat. Kumbuka na akijenga boat. Kulikuwa na miaka more than so. Repent but no. Walimwona kama fala. Na imagine ile panic ilikuwa after wa feel the first few raindrops. Binadamu kichwa ngumu. Sio kumbuka Mungu. Road ikiwa rough. Vitu zikiwa ngumu. Hii mind yangu change before it's too late. Usafi na hitaji ni whiter than Colgate. Bill Gates anadoka yote. But hawezi buy ticket ya kuingia the gate. Nika Rolex. Hawezi tell time atakam. Stay ready for the one. The soon coming sun and it's begun. Say ready or not anakuja. 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 Asking what are you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Unangoja nini, mpaka lini? I said what are you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Unangoja nini, mpaka lini?
You know, life is often unpredictable in the sense that one day something exists and the next day it just doesn't. You know, like imagine the last landline to come out of the production line. I don't think they knew that was the last one. It's like, yo, that entire industry has collapsed just like that. Okay. So, of course, we've been having fires in LA, and you know, our prayers, thoughts and prayers and commiserations go to our brothers and sisters all in California, man, in LA. They're going through wildfires. And it's ravaged families. You know, I've been thinking about that really. How life can just change, man. And there are people whose houses are standing, others their houses got burned. Now they have to rebuild, and it's just crazy. So life can just change suddenly. So one of the things Manolo asked in that song is, imagine the first guys who had the first raindrops. You know, in that story of Noah in the Bible, like the guy kept telling people, kutanyesha. They're like, what? It had never rained before. They're like, what are you talking about? Kunyesha ni kufanya nini? There'll be rain from the sky. Which sky? Which rain? Then imagine the first guys to feel that raindrop. Pop. They were like, oh my God, Noah was right. Anyway, so what are you waiting for? That's the name of the song. And let me ask you, what are you waiting for? This is 2025. So unangoja nini? You know those dreams you've always had, those things you've always said, hey, one day I'll do this, one day I'll go here. What are you waiting for? And you know there is the 844 challenges that we have to deal with. Lack of infrastructure, poor communication, poor road network. Hizo ni za kawaida. But what are you waiting for? This is the year you bet on yourself. So if you're listening to this is the year you bet on yourself and you say, you know what, I'm going for it. What are you waiting for? Take that choice. Take the plunge. Do it. It just might work out. It just might work out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Sheria Dive. And remember, today we're talking about watching the watchers. If you're joining this show at this point, my name is James WaNjeri. And here on Sheria Dive, we talk about legal questions, What are some of the legal questions to the things that we are seeing in our society today? And of course, this week, if you've been paying attention, the Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Mr. Justin Muturi, went to the DCI to record a statement. And that statement was with regards to the abduction of his son. All right. Now, you'll remember that last year, in that Mandamano season, there was news that came in that said that, hey, Leslie Muturi, who's the son of the guy, I think, he was still a minister at the time. The son of the minister has been arrested. Why has he been arrested? It wasn't clear. Okay. So anyway, the police then the other day come and say that, we were not involved in this. But they say if anyone has been abducted, okay, or if you have news or report of anyone who has been abducted, come and bring it to the police. So this guy turns up. His son was abducted. He's a minister in the Kenyan government, all right? This is his statement, all right? He says, on the 22nd of June, 2024 at 9:29 p.m., I was meeting some friends in Gigiri when I received a call from Wairimo, the wife of my son, Leslie Muturi. She told me that she had been informed by Honorable Mark Mwenje that Leslie had been abducted a few minutes ago by armed, hooded gangsters. She said they had just passed the roundabout on Dennis Street Road and turned into Olengurone Avenue when the incident occurred. She stated that Leslie had been with Honorable Mark Mwenje and Marangu Imanyara at Alfajiri having drinks, and they decided to go to a birthday party in Lavington. It was during this process that Leslie was waylaid and kidnapped. The kidnappers forced him into a vehicle and drove off, and she was unable to reach him on his phone. I tried calling Leslie's phone, but it was switched off. At the time, I was with my friend Paul Muthoka. After discussing the matter with him, I called the Inspector General of Police, Japhet Koome, and explained the situation, and he promised to circulate the information among various police stations and call me back. Shortly afterwards, Mark Mwenje called me from the scene and described what had happened. He said the vehicle that abducted Leslie was a white box Prado, and armed men brandishing AK-47 rifles and wearing hoods, had blocked Leslie's car, opened the driver's door, and pulled him out while the car engine was still running. WaNjeri noted that at the time he called me, Leslie's car engine was still running. I then called Raymond Omolo, the PS for Interior, and explained the abduction. He assured me that he would take action. I also attempted to reach the Director of Criminal Investigations, Mr. Mohammed Amin, but his phones went unanswered. I tried calling the National Intelligence Service Director General, Nurdin Haji, but he did not answer either. After about an hour, I called the Inspector General again. He informed me that he had alerted all personnel on all routes suspecting it might have been a robbery. However, I told him that based on the information provided by WaNjeri, the abductors appeared to be security personnel rather than robbers. He seemed unconvinced, stating that there was no planned police operation that night. Several friends joined me at the scene, and we continued making calls to various offices and individuals who might help in locating my son. I called Raymond Omolo a second time, and he confirmed that he had contacted several agencies to assist in finding Leslie. However, he was still inclined to believe it was a carjacking. We learned that police from Kilimani had gone to Citizen TV to obtain CCTV footage, but the station was initially reluctant to release it. Honorable Ndungu Gethenji, who had joined us, called Washira Waruru, the CEO of Citizen TV, explained the situation and requested any information that might help identify the vehicle. Waruru later sent us footage showing the events leading to the abduction. The footage showed Leslie driving out, followed by WaNjeri. The footage also captured the Box Prado and another vehicle resembling a Probox following Leslie and WaNjeri prior to the abduction. Around 3 a.m., I decided to send a WhatsApp message to the president informing him about my son's abduction. Around this time, someone gave me the contact number of Said Kiprotich Mohammed, the director of Anti-Terrorism Protection Unit, ATPU, as we had identified the Box Prado in the CCTV footage and learned that such vehicles were often used by ATPU. I called Mr. Mohammed, but he did not answer or respond to my text message. Since I could not reach Amin, I obtained the contact of his deputy, James WaNjeri, and called him. He said he would look into the matter, but was unaware of any police operation that night. We eventually retired to our homes around 5 a.m. to freshen up. While at home around 8:15 a.m., James WaNjeri called and informed me that they had checked everywhere, but there was no reported case of that nature. He promised to intensify their search efforts. Shortly afterwards, Said Kiprotich Mohammed called back. After explaining the situation, he assured me that there was no ongoing operation and that ATPU was not involved. Given the anxiety at home, where many relatives and friends had gathered, I informed them of the previous night's efforts and left to continue the search. We returned to Gigiri and met with friends who had also been searching various police stations without success. Between 10 and 11 a.m., a friend from NIS called, informing me that my son was being held by their people. I shared this information with my friends, and it was agreed that I should call Nurdin Haji again. Despite multiple attempts, he did not answer. Just before 1 p.m., I decided to call Professor Kindiki, the Cabinet Secretary for Interior. After explaining the entire situation, he expressed shock and assured me he would contact Nurdin Haji. 15 minutes later, Professor Kindiki called back saying he had spoken with the DG of NIS, who denied holding Leslie. Despite my insistence that I had confirmed information from an NIS officer, Professor Kindiki maintained that the DG could not be lying. We continued our inquiries, and I checked my phone to see if the president had read my message. He had not. Shortly afterward, we saw the presidential helicopters heading towards State House. Knowing the president had been attending a church service in Nyandarua, I decided to drive to State House to see him in person. Upon arrival, I found that the president had just finished lunch with a group of MPs, including Mwangi Kiunjuri and Honorable John Kawanjiko. I waited until they finished their discussion. When Mwangi Kiunjuri concluded his conversation with the president, I approached. After greetings, I informed the president about my message, and he explained that his phone had crashed due to an overload of messages. I then narrated the ordeal, including my interactions with various senior government officials who had been unable to help. I expressed my belief that NIS was holding my son. The president joked, asking why anyone would want to arrest a young person over the Gen Z demonstrations. He even mentioned that WaNjeri's son and the sons of other officials had been involved in similar demonstrations. He then called his technician to check the status of his phone. Since it was still not functioning properly, I requested that he call Nurdin Haji directly. Standing outside the pavilion, I had the president ask Nurdin Haji if he was holding my son. Nurdin confirmed that indeed he was holding my son, and the president instructed him to release Leslie immediately. Nurdin responded that Leslie would be released within an hour. After thanking the president, I drove out of State House and rejoined my friends in Gigiri and explained what had happened. Slightly over an hour later, Leslie called me to say he had been released and was at home. I then went home to see him. This is a true and accurate recollection of what transpired. That was a statement that was released by the Public Service Minister, Mr. Justin Muturi, former Attorney General, former Speaker of the National Assembly, about the abduction of his son, Leslie. Ladies and gentlemen, you know that if you've been following the abduction stories, it has been very unclear exactly who is carrying out these abductions, because the IG of police comes out and says, we are not the ones carrying out these abductions, you know. And so the question is then, who is? This makes for intriguing reading, and it sheds a light perhaps on what exactly is happening behind closed doors. Why is the National Intelligence Service, for instance, picking up Kenyans? Is that the way the intelligence service should run? Today we talk about watching the watchers. You know, NIS is watching, right? So who is watching them as they watch you? The laws of Kenya had a fail-safe mechanism, okay, that even agencies like the National Intelligence Service would have an accountability system. And that's what we're going to be talking about today as we look at a case that was decided at the High Court on this matter, because then the law gives us an idea of what the expectation was. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we're going to be talking about. But let's get some music, and then when we come back, we start that deep dive into the question of who is watching the watchers, talking about accountability of the investigation services and the intelligence services in Kenya. Let's go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Me, I keep it fresh, fresh on. Me, I keep it fresh, me, I keep it fresh, me, I keep it fresh all day, all day, all day. Fresh all day, fresh all day, all day. Fresh all day.
Think you can handle Count Moolah.
I come correct, and yeah, my swag so official like I'm the ref. See, I be rockin' Louis, so shorties wanna do me. Have all these haters feeling so underdressed. I see you mugging me, but I ain't mugging back. Cause I ain't got time for your chitty chat. Why you tryna copy and paste me? I'll be with your broad like butter on pastry. She's on my arm like my Virgin Mary. And we be on that weed from early. OG, smoking by the OZ. And all she wanna see is a couple emojis. Well, I got money to blow. And shorty, I ain't tripping, so you already know. Can't moolah all day. If you want it, gon' pay. Hater, I'm just letting you know that
All I know is swagger,
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
okay, my life is not the same, and I know who to blame. If I remember the name, it sounded something like fame for
for the money, for the game, I would kill it. No shame. Rep a crew that's untamed, and I'm a dude that's maintained. Swagger so right as Frank. 20 big Benjamin sitting in the bank. What you think? I've been working hard, numbers agree. So please believe me, this is easy, born to be an MC. So I took one Nairobi, the swagger strong only. Yeah. 24 hours round the clock, Wani. The Levi store know me. Big up Ryo and Fuzzy. Now I'm fresh all day, Nikki Chapakazi. Boys be looking at P, this ever slappy. Lucy, Kibaki, LOL. Yeah, I'm only messing, I'm just digging the jam. Bumping it with my fam, Chuck Taylor's helping me stand. Let go.
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
I said we on to be their favorite. Moolah team pacing. Further than the basement, higher than the spaceships. NASA couldn't waste this, rockets couldn't chase this. Swagger on vintage, African Fresh Prince. Flying like the Jetsons, higher than the Jeffersons. Moving on up till they can't get enough of us. Now we at the top, better use your binoculars. Swagger non-stop is what you do if you have some. And I'm just getting started. Ever seen a Kenyan boy trying to go harder? You gotta work for your profit, cause everybody's trying to get paid in Nairobi. I think your swagger need coaching. Fresh all day, it's all cool by the ocean. Swagging down in South Coast, you could say we coasting. High grade glowing, super flowing. Damn.
All I know is swagger.
Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Me, I keep it fresh all day, it's all cool.
Put your hands up if you have some.
Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Cause you keep it fresh all day, it's all cool. Fresh all day, 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 it's all cool. Fresh all day, fresh all day, it's all cool.
Back with another ba bum ba bum bum. Back with another ba bum ba bum bum. Back with another one ba bum ba bum bum. Let's get it ba bum ba bum bum. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a lane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Joe, how do you think, Joe? What can you push about this girl I know? About this girl called Mary Jane. About the way she used to kill 'em with the show. Kill 'em with the kill them pretty girl there. She got that shaku, got that katika. Every night and day, half of 4:20 p.m. Everybody say, gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like the way, I really like the way your music is insane. Gotta be a lane to chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane, to chasing a Mary Jane. Gotta be a Jane 'cause I really like it, man. I really, 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 really like it. Yeah, man, I really like to dance, really like to move my body like that. Really like to dance, really like to move my body like that. Okay, najua unapendanga energy drink, lakini ukitaka mali safi ende chain. Kuna manzi ana everything you need. Gotta break your back, gotta break your back, gotta break your back until everything don't be leveling. Girl so sweet, they be jealousy. Everything about you is so highly. I know you know they know you got nice energy. Akisonga
warembo wameitwa, wakiitwa wanaitika, you better say yes. Ladies and gentlemen, on 14th June 2018, Katiba Institute took the government to court. And the matter before court was the government had failed to constitute and operationalize the National Intelligence Service Complaints Board. Now, this board is contemplated under the National Intelligence Service Act at Section 66. You can always find this online. The beautiful thing about Kenya is that all our laws are available online. All court cases from High Court going forward are available online. So please, you can always, if you want to check out some of these things, some of these decisions, you can find them there. But yes, the National Intelligence Service Act, Section 66, requires the formation of what you call the National Intelligence Service Complaints Board. And what is the work of this organization? Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a history buff, you know, if you put your ear on the ground on what is happening in the world, you always realize that one of the ways the intelligence service can be misused in any country is when it is used to spy, when a government uses the intelligence service to spy on its own citizens and then to try strike at dissidents or dissent, you know. That is actually even a reality of Kenya, because sometimes we talk about these things like, you know, we want to give examples in Japan, in Germany, and, you know, the Gestapo. I'm like, bro, what Gestapo? That's a very long time ago, 1945. But yes, of course, Germany had its Nazi secret police. You know, you had even leading to the world wars, you also had the Russians and all that. But did you know also that the FBI over the years has been accused of, you know, engaging in perhaps something that people feel that is illegal, or, you know, things that the court say, hey, you cannot do that. So the reality is that the intelligence service is not immune to actually going rogue, and it happens in different ways. In Kenya's story, the intelligence service in the 80s and in the 90s was mostly used by government to crack down on people who are anti-government. And you remember on this show we've spoken about Kenya and what that was. There used to be publications. You know, Moi banned communism. Any discussions of Karl Marx were banned. There was a story I always used to hear that the president then, he kept hearing this Karl Marx is being mentioned everywhere. And he sent those police and told them, go and arrest that Karl Marx and bring him here, notwithstanding the fact that Karl Marx had been dead for a long time. But it seemed his ideology was, in the eyes of the president, fomenting, you know. His ideology was causing chaos in Kenya. And so discussions of communism are banned. Karl Marx is banned. You cannot teach Karl Marx in the schools. And of course, there are teachers who are like, no, what? So that time the government would go after people who are seekers of knowledge. And of course, the one thing that worked in Moi's favor at the time also was a Cold War. Because remember, after 1945, we now have the Cold War period coming in where everyone has a nuclear weapon. Na ni kutishana sasa. You know, who is the superpower? Who is the real superpower? Oh, it was an interesting time. And so the intelligence services were highly, highly used in all governments all over the world to gather information and to do all that. Now, in Kenya, the intelligence service was then set upon the population, okay? So the NIS of the time, go and find these people who are printing this material where they are trying to teach people what, they're trying to agitate. What are they agitating for? What democracy is that? Enda ushike hao wote. And that is what begins to happen. And we've discussed stories of people who had been detained over the years, including, you know, lecturers, including professionals, including even students. But because of the Cold War, it's always assumed that the West was a bit lenient with Kenya on now matters of the human rights at the time, because you could always paint it and say these guys are trying to spread communism. That's why we are doing this. And so the 80s and 90s, but people are still making noise, and there are still people who are standing and saying, no, this is not right. And there are still people who are going to court to file matters, Now, we are in 2024, and one of the questions that has been bothering people in the country is who exactly is carrying out the abductions? But then what happens if we discover it was the NIS? Then what do we do? How do you sue the National Intelligence Service? How do you deal with the National Intelligence Service? How do you complain when a member of the National Intelligence Service does something that they should not do? Now, Kenya's constitution desired that, this constitution was written with a lot of context. And when people remembered what had happened in the 80s and 90s, and even during colonial times, how the security apparatus was used as an instrument of the state to exert its dominance on the people, we wanted a security apparatus that was accountable to civilian authority. That's why the president is a commander-in-chief. Like, he's the guy who's at the top. Even the military answers to him. You understand? So how do you then complain about matters of NIS or something that NIS have done that should not have been done? That is why the NIS Act created that provision that, hey, we're going to have an NIS complaints board. Now, Section 66 says there is established a board to be known as the Intelligence Service Complaints Board, which shall consist of the following members appointed by the Cabinet Secretary. These are the members. To be a member of the Intelligence Service Complaints Board, the chairman shall be someone who qualifies to be a judge of the High Court. Okay, so someone with the qualification of a judge. Then 2, someone nominated by the Kenyan National Commission on Human Rights. The other shall be an advocate of not less than 7 years standing. The other one shall be a retired senior intelligence officer and one person who has at least 7 years experience in public service. Okay? Those are the people who make up the board. That is already provided for in the law. So why was it not being done? Or does it even exist? Let me tell you, no, it does not. And that is why the matter went to court. So when we come back, we're going to be looking at the arguments that were being advanced here and what the court considered, because the court in the end made a judgment on this matter. But you're talking about watching the watchers. How do we speak about accountability of the National Intelligence Service? How does the Constitution of Kenya want that relationship to be? What is the expectation in the Constitution? Let's get some music and then when we come back, continue this conversation about watching the watchers. Let's go.
From sunrise to sunset, all day and night. Our radio.
Whatever them say now it don't matter. Jealousy tryna blow us things. See them eyes them green cause they envy we. Give them a show, pina mukongo. Wachokoze, kulia kushoto. Joeni queen unachafu asino. Kidansu na wachanganya. Let's take it slow, turinge kitoko. Tusiogope choma photo. Oh no, oh no. Hadi washikwe na phone. Because of you. Nivulie, sindiria. ninywe maziwa ndio niweze kutulia. Mambo yetu kuna wengi wanafuatilia, but don't let it get to your head, moto yao tutazima. Baby, you make a man scatter. Utanifanya nikulambe mapaja, pole pole tu nikipanda hadi kukuwe na mvua rasharasha. Acha waone wivu, wananiona wivu because of you. Wananiona wivu because of you. Wananiona wivu because of you. And the things that we do. 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 It's so fresh on the beat and you know it's a hit again.
It's number 9, baby.
I dream of a sky where the lights never die down. I'm awake in my sleep and I'm falling to the ground. I want the answers to the questions of the reactions, whether it makes sense or the path is fatal attraction. Is it the whiteness of the cloud or the steam in my mirror? Is it the broken of a glass? Could it be more clearer? 'Cause I feel so alive. No one can stop me even if they try. 'Cause I've been trying much too long. You can beat me down, I'll stay strong. 'Cause I feel so alive. Beat me down, I'll stay strong. Through the rain and the hail and the fire, through whatever they bring, till I get my desire. Is it the whisper of an angel or the pounding of my heartbeat? Is it the playing of a record where the drumming in the bass meet? 'Cause I feel so alive. No one can stop me even if they try. 'Cause I've been trying much too long. You can beat me down, I'll stay strong. 'Cause I feel so alive. Beat me down, I'll stay strong.
Walinidharau lakini usikise mtu wangu, kuna venye nimekafunga ka Ramadhan, wese ni sahau juu nikingia kwa booth mule boy ukikizwa masnia design ya Chucky Chan, sotam nikate mguu, amwezi ni defeat, finya backspace kwa comp wezi ni delete, kuja na pinya still amwezi kuni beat, na hizo wealth zote mkonazo amwezi kuni reach. Wanadai mimi ni mskini, I need to gain some weight. Mimi maskini my pocket needs to gain weight, cause raha wanabonda, after raha wanahara wanakonda kangonda. Mini hustling daily, kukula smart make sure nimenona kuliko anaconda. Sikizi wakiniona ni sura wanakuaga wamebonda, hizo mipaka tunazivuka bila bada.
'Cause I feel so alive. No one can stop me even if they try. 'Cause I've been trying much too long. You can beat me down, I'll stay strong. 'Cause I feel so alive. Beat me down, I'll stay strong. No one can stop me even if they try. 'Cause I've been trying much too long. You can beat me down, I'll stay strong. 'Cause I feel so alive.
discouragement to get in life. Wala wase wanakuambiaga uwezi toboa, wala wase kuchekelea. That time that we proved them wrong. Saizi kwambia otherwise, the future's here with the best leader. That's the ego mtu wangu. If you're still hating on us, go on, cause we need it. It's number 9, baby.
Octopuzzle number 9. Hey, fantastic. That's with Sage, right? Yeah, Sage, fantastic voice, fantastic. Beautiful. And also, have you seen Sage perform live? Amazing. You know, guys, you need to. Let me leave it at that. Now, what does the government say in exchange? Remember, we're talking about this case where Katiba Institute went to court and said, these guys have not set up, the government has not set up the national, the intelligence services complaint board, which had been mandated in the law. And the government's response was, tumeweka mikakati. Basically, by then, they said, we have started the process. We have commenced the process. We have done this. We have written letters. So this case should be removed because we are working on it. You know, we'll get it done. And the court now begins to consider. You know, if you look at the Constitution of Kenya, the powers of NIS and the powers of the government are determined by the Constitution and laws. And these laws must be observed strictly, okay? Now, Katiba began by saying that failure to constitute the board limited the ability of the citizens to rely on the law to file any complaints whatsoever regarding the actions of the National Intelligence Service. So there is no opportunity without this board to complain. Who do you complain to? You know, Muturi has come with the story of his son and how his son was taken by the National Intelligence Service. So whom does he complain to? He went and filed a case with the DCI, but you're basically asking the police to investigate the police, you know? So who do you complain to? Who takes this complaint? And remember, Article 47 of the Constitution of Kenya guarantees every person's the right to fair trial, which means you are fair administrative action. Which means if an action is taken against you, it has to be subject to certain rules, certain requirements. That is what the law provides. So you're denying people not one right, but multiple rights at the same time by not constituting this organization or this agency, you know, that is provided for in the law. So the petitioner, who was Katiba as well, also said that the board also has the authority to give a solution, okay? So once you bring a complaint, it's not just a complaint that comes and you complain and that's it. They have to provide a remedy, okay? So first, they in and of themselves are a remedy. The board, the complaints board, is a remedy in and of itself before it even provides a remedy to someone else. So when you do not have it, it means that remedy completely does not exist. It's one thing to say, I went to the board and the board did nothing. And it's another thing to say, there was never even a board in the first place, so there was really no one to go to. So to pass a law, and that has always been the problem in Kenya. Yes, the law provides for this board. The board has to be there. Why is it not there? And this is one of the reasons you'll always find people are saying, but you guys, you just implement the Constitution. These are some of the things we are talking about. Because if you implement the Constitution, then you quickly deal with this matter. Na hiyo story inaisha hapo. The law already provides for it. Why can't we create it? And remember, we're also a country that loves to create things. Nowadays, there's a kamati. Nimeunda kamati. Kamati ni nyingi sana. And I saw someone talk the other day about all the committees and those two commissions. Or let me not call them commissions, but Gazette appointed things where people just file reports and that story is over. Report imewekwa, let's move on. Come on. It's a very British way of ruling, and it's bad manners. So if the law provides that you have to have this agency set up, why hasn't it been set up? When we come back, we see, what does the court say? What are the things to consider? And of course, I think the way I'm going, you already know what decision the court made. But let's get some music. The gentleman called Costa Ojwang. Tutatafuta ngoma hapo ya Costa Ojwang tucheze after this song that's coming up next. But remember, this is Sheria Dive right here with me, James WaNjeri, and we're discussing watching the watchers. What is the responsibility that is required for intelligence services on accountability? What is the accountability mechanism? Who is watching the watchers? Kenya's constitution provides for a system where we, the people, are watching the National Intelligence Service, and they're accountable to us, and we can actually file complaints against them. Why haven't they been brought under the constitution as the law desires? Also going to be talking about, but for now, let's get that music. Let's go.
This proves to be such a beautiful night, so I wanna stay out with you till the morning comes along now. Zulu and Kinyadi, Yopolo hallelujah. Give me the word and a bit of me. Mudomandi wanyalo yoro. And now we made it to the mountain tops. Let me take your hands, baby, lead your way. And now we're cruising to the promised land. Mind allo, berana mind allo. And now we made it to the mountain tops. Let me take your hands, baby, lead your way. And now we're cruising to the promised land. Mind allo, berana mind allo. Koi go dire atia. Koi go dire. Te kumbanya de daga ka oda siri. Koi go dire atia. Koi go dire. Te kumbanya de daga ke modo siri. Aye, 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 aye. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora.
Nama Chukagera rosine ke besilia my dear. Nama Chukagera rosine ke besilia my dear. Ooh, nah, dear busy. Ona me hangani no dige. We haraya ni no chuke. Ogora mawani kohe. Ona diawe kana gweke doge sama. Ta ojere tane wakinya chuke goe. How get in don't get ni wacho.
Que compañía de daga ka oda siri.
Don't get ni nisa.
Que compañía de daga ke modo siri. Aye, 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 aye. Aye, 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 aye. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora. Wasakalo kodeki. Milima na mabonde. Ore wa yora yora.
baridi. Unaonaje? Kasherehe kidogo hivi kapo light. Cheki. Kuna kitu iko sangi kwa Kikuyu.
Okone kwa otoreda kwa kiamwaki. Okone kwa, can we make this a party? Okone kwa otoreda kwa kiamwaki. Okone kwa, can we make this a party? Leo hakuna pombe za majuzi. Si tunataka ya zama za kale. Totira hutia johi ya dhukoishi. Idwe toreda area ya maide maituna tinore shama kama wainya tene. Uruga bona kewa it's always available. Ura tinore shama kama wainya tene. Uruga bona kewa it's always available. Kayo toy way. 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 Todie togere kafori weroine. Natoga deje todie kari choma. Tokwa bago itagada kame kanini. Toho eroda koriaria makomete. Tutachagua kambuzi malishoni. Tuje tuchinje tuile kama choma. Mwanzo tumwage kadamu mchangani. Iwafikie waliotangulia. Oratino shama kama wainya tene. Uruga bona kewa it's always available. Oratino shama kama wainya tene. Uruga bona kewa it's always available. Kayo toy way. 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 Nere shama. Kayo toy. Ay ay ay. Kayo toy way. Kayo toy way. Kayo toy way. Nere shama. Kayo toy. Ay ay ay.
Well, that song is glorifying Moratina. And you know, the High Court actually said Moratina is not an illicit liquor. Yeah, so that is such a wonderful decision by the High Court, because we really need to protect indigenous knowledge. And traditional brew is indigenous knowledge. You know, you cannot be a culture that frowns at or look down upon its own cultural practices. So we make our own traditional brew, and it is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about watching the watchers. The responsibility. Who has the responsibility to watch the National Intelligence Service? And what we've discovered is that the National Intelligence Service Act provides, okay, it provides for a board, a complaint board that has been appointed. And once that board has been appointed, then they're the ones you will take your case to, they're the ones you will take your issues to, they're the ones you will take your complaints to. And they listen to you, they carry out investigations, they ask for any information they need, and it's brought to them. And then they make a determination. Of course, as this board works, the law also considers that we do not want the board to interfere with matters of national security, right? So the board has the right to find out, hey, is this an ongoing investigation? What is the reason for this thing being done? And if they are satisfied, remember, the people who are being put there are people who have the ability to sit, think, hear what they're being told, and make a decision, okay? The qualifications are very high. The chairman has to be someone who has the same qualification to be a judge of the High Court, okay? So it's a big thing. So they have to make that decision, of course, knowing what the Constitution provides. Now, in this case, the other thing that was coming up was a question of fair administrative action, okay? Who is responsible for the actions? Okay, when you talk about fair administrative action, you're saying if a public body, okay, and this right also extends to a private capacity. If an administrative decision is being made against you, then it is important for you to know why is it being made. Can I challenge the decision or I can't? Who do I challenge the decision to? Okay. So that is relevant, and that is what the Constitution of Kenya provides. There must always be that provision so that there is a hierarchy of accountability. We call it the hierarchy of accountability, where the Constitution has set systems where everyone is accountable to everyone, okay? So we have to work seamlessly. Like the best way for this country to work actually is for people to just work together the way the Constitution looks at it. It means that we are all following each other, okay? And we're all keeping each other accountable. Now, the court in this case said, remember what the government was saying is, tumeweka mikakati. We have started the process, and the court said the court would not have been inclined to intervene had the government simply done what the law needs them to do. They cannot now turn around and claim interference with their mandate. Whatever processes they have intimated to have been ongoing in as far as the constitution of the board goes have so far amounted to nothing. And that's what the court was saying. Mmekuja kutupea stories of Jabba. These are Jabba stories. You can't come to say, oh, we've been working on it, tumetenga. Mmetenga nini? Sheria ilipita kitambo sana, mbona bado mnatenga? Set up the board. And the court was very clear, we do not need to interfere with what the court is doing, with what maybe a government agency is doing, if they are doing it the way the law requires. But now you guys, surely, you have done nothing. And so with that, the court also was of the view that saying that, hey, there has never been a complaint against intelligence services. That's what the government said. There has not been any complaint. So why do we even need this board? Hey? The court said, no. All that matters is that it is a constitutional requirement that the NIS be subject to civilian authority. The public has a legitimate expectation of this. Okay? It is a legitimate expectation. It does not matter without a single complaint being made, but let them be there. In this case, the government had not established, and the court was very clear. The NIS must be subject to civilian authority. And that civilian authority is exercised through this board, because this board can summon them. They can ask them, hey, what did you... They can hold them accountable. They can ask them questions. And they have the power to ask for evidence or for the person holding the evidence to release it. That is the power of this board. So, ladies and gentlemen, the court said that the government's failure to establish and operationalize the Intelligence Service Complaints Board is a violation of Article 10, Article 47, Article 48, and Article 50 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. You're already violating the Constitution. Number 2, a declaration was issued that the failure to constitute the Intelligence Service Complaints Board was unjustified, consequently denying the citizens a recourse for redress whenever their rights have been violated by the service members, because service members can't violate those rights. So failure to create it, you've denied citizens a recourse for redress. And number 3, an order was issued to the government to establish and operationalize the Intelligence Service Complaints Board, strictly adhering to what the Constitution and the law provide within 180 days. Now, ladies and gentlemen, do you think they did it? Do you think they did it? That's a poll. Let's get the music and then we come back, I want to see, do you think they did it? The answer will shock you.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
a story in the newspapers on December the 6th, 2024. The Public Service Commission has for the third time re-advertised for vacancies in a civilian board created to oversee the excesses of the National Intelligence Service. The latest push to recruit the members of the Intelligence Service Complaints Board has raised questions of possible interference and sabotage in having the body operational close to 12 years since it was supposed to have been set up. So, ladies and gentlemen, the government set things in motion, but I don't know why that board has not been constituted yet. The advertisements have been sent out for the third time. What's going on? Set up the complaints board for the NIS so that we can deal with all these matters, especially when these questions of abduction once and for all. The court has already made itself clear. So it's been years since that decision of the court. The government is disobeying a court order once again. And who is hurting from it? The citizens. That is not right. We have to always uphold the law. If you've got a problem with the judgment, serikali, you take it on appeal. But the law must be upheld. Remember your oath. You swore an oath to protect and uphold the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya. And ladies and gentlemen, remember, we the people. We the people. Have a fantastic weekend. Let me wish you a blessed time. I hope you'll be fun. You'll be fine wherever you'll be. Today I'm going for a traditional ceremony, a traditional Kikuyu ceremony where you welcome the newly initiated boy back into the into the community. And it's African culture is a very interesting thing. This is called Ithemba. I don't know if you've heard of Ithemba. And Ideba. The purpose of that is now the community goes. The boy has gone to be initiated, and in the Kikuyu culture, the initiation is done by way of circumcision of the boy. Do not circumcise women. Circumcision of the boy, and then the boy is now welcomed back into the community. So tuko hapo, tunamwambia karibu, welcome back. You're now a man. Oh my God, it is such. I had some people having a conversation, and I wondered to myself, by the white people, if you're listening to this, how do you know you've transitioned from manhood to adulthood? For most cultures out here, it's having a beer. Like, you have a beer now. You've become a man now, But here in Africa, we are very elaborate. The initiation was a key marker that shows, hey, you're a man now. Your choices have consequences. That's basically what it means to be a man. Your choices have consequences. So, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you a fantastic weekend. Tuonane hapa will be back here on Monday as we continue with this show. And of course, for 2025, we've got some crazy, interesting things that we are planning for all of us. See you on Monday, and let's make this year count. And remember, what are you waiting for? You are the hero you've been waiting for. God bless.
Power Radio. Tune in and power up.
Touch the fire, and you know it's not in vain.
jama. Oh no, maji yalipozidi unga, hawakudhani tutafika. It's unbelievable that we made it this far. Undeniable to see the promised land from afar. So beautiful, they gon' know who we are. They keep on walking in the rain. Kuna blessings in the pain. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Steady ready. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Oh Lord, steady rocking on the midnight train. To Zion, to Zion, Zion. It's a narrow road to Zion. Nothing will ever deny us. Whatever it takes, keep on rocking. Whatever it takes, keep on moving. To Zion, to Zion, to Zion. Yeah, 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 yeah. Rocking on the midnight train. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Oh Lord, steady rocking on the midnight train. To Zion, to Zion, to Zion, to Zion. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Steady rocking on the midnight train. Oh Lord, steady rocking on the midnight train. To Zion.